What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to Caribbean Culture and Lifestyle, man. Tonight we're gonna reason a little about the islands, man, and the Caribbean islands and what's going on in the islands. If the island's still the same, like how it used to be 20, 25, 30 years ago, or things has changed. Has things really changed, or have the lifestyle changed? Has the culture changed? What's actually going on in these island now that make you think like it's nothing like it used to be in the years gone by? Yes. Welcome, welcome, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let's keep this continuous. Let's keep this going because right now we want to talk about the Caribbean and what's going on because I'm hearing a lot of things, and the truth is, sometimes you hear stuff, but sometimes you mightn't be there, and because you're not there, you rather to hear from people whose boots on the ground, who actually there putting in the works, who actually there witnessing what's going on. Okay, so I mean, when you really check it out, things going on everywhere. Ain't just in the Caribbean, it's basically everywhere. Give me 1 minute, guys. Yes. So we in we are rather to hear people speak about what's going on than like you're not there, you're not witnessing anything, you just hearing. But there's people who actually can tell you what's going on. Because I don't like to say things that I don't know. I like to be more sure and confirm on what I'm talking about because sometimes you could be wrong. Okay, and I don't like to give misinformation. But something I want to talk about is what actually going on. What actually going on? Is things changed from 25 years ago, 30 years ago, or it's better, or it's in a worse condition? I cannot say that it's in a worse condition. Why I cannot say that? Because I'm not there, so I cannot say that. The people who there can say that. I cannot say that. But no, what I'm saying, what I want to say, are we utilizing the food we have in the Caribbean? Are we looking at the herbs? Are we still into herbs? Like, for instance, I remember my grandmother, she was she was like a nurse for the village. She know the herbs, she know, what kind of bush to use. She know if your back hurting you, what you can use. She knows all these things. So I'm trying to figure out, did we continue this practice or did we give it up? Did we continue this practice or did we give it up? You see, sometimes I'm hearing a lot of things that I'm not even gonna mention. But sometimes we got to take things in our own hand. Why I'm saying that? Sometimes you got to take things in your own hand. Because I'm going to say this to you guys. There's a lot of herbs and things in the backyard, around by the roadside. As far as we learning now, a lot of the fruit trees have benefit. Now is an information age where information is easy to obtain because we have the internet and we also have people sharing information. The truth is, I used to love to sit down with the older people because the older people is who have the knowledge and the information from their generation. So by you listening to them, they could share a lot of information that happened in their time that could benefit you in this time. So if you bless enough that there's elders in the community, I know time has changed and it mightn't be the same. But if you could try, I mean, everybody have a phone today, and a lot of phone, you could check the benefit of plants that's around you. Many of us, I could remember that in my backyard there was so much herbs that you could have just walk in the backyard and you could have pick up herbs for tea. I remember there was a bush we used to call red tap, and we used to feed rabbit with that bush. But the root of that bush and also the leaf of that bush was very beneficial for us. You know, we used to use that and make tea. So what I'm saying is, man, into the world, we got to get back to the land. We got to get back to the land. We got to get back to herbs. We got to take it sometimes. If you realize, you see, sometimes we complain, but what are we doing to change the fact that what we're complaining about? So, say for instance, you claiming that the place that you go for, like if you ain't feeling well, you go to the hospital and you realize the treatment ain't well. They might, the way them, I don't even want to see it. All I'm saying is, this is an informational age where you can do research. In our time, our grandparents' time, I remember the aloe plant. The aloe plant was like a lifesaver. At that time, everybody had the aloe plant in their yard because they used to use the aloe plant for lots of different benefits. You know, clean out your system, wash your hair, many things. We also used to use the simas. Simas was like very, you know, you could have just go and get simas. That's how easy it was in them time. Now it's a business now for simas. And we all know simas is a great product as well that have lots of benefit. So all I'm saying, man, we got to take our health in our hand, especially, man. I'm reaching out to the people in the island. I mean, all over the world, all over the world. Sometimes you just got to take up certain things in your own hand. Do your own research. There's a lot of food out there that can help us prevent a lot of things because our food's supposed to be our medicine. And there's a lot of things that can prevent. You see, sometimes we allow ourselves to get to a place, and now we start using herbs and all different type of stuff to cure the situation. But sometimes it's gone too far. So there's something I always hear the older people say prevention is better than cure. Why prevention is better than cure? Because you're trying to prevent things from happening. You're trying to prevent high blood pressure. So if you're trying to prevent high blood pressure, you got to stay away from certain things. You see, this is why we got to educate ourselves so we know what to stay away from and we know what to eat. The truth is, growing food for yourself sometimes could be very, very beneficial for you. Many people give up their backyard where you see, I remember in times gone by when people used to buy bamboo and build stand. And the stand they used to build is like lady stand. They used to be like where they could plant their cucumber, their scythe, their parsley, their celery, all this type of stuff they used to be planting. Guys, it's important. I think people got to get back to that. I really do. I think people need to get back to that. You know, people in different places dealing with the cold weather. And people still people trying to grow there. Like when the weather change, they get the containers and they come outside in the spring and they start planting something, trying to grow something, which is important. I know a lot of people love beautiful flowers in the spring, and nothing wrong with that. A lot of people love beautiful flowers in the spring, but guess what? There's some beautiful flowers that is actually herbs that you could actually use and make your tea. They push out these beautiful flowers, have your garden looking pretty, but they have benefit. We have the beautiful hibiscus plant. What we learn in hibiscus holds a lot of benefit. But I can only mention the name them guys. I'm not a doctor, so I don't really want to go into the depths of details to say, okay, this could cure this. No, I don't want to do that. What we got to do, we got to educate ourselves. Educating ourselves could help us understand. And I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes, you see, the connecting to nature is important. Being connected to nature is very important. When you connected to nature, you know, when you connect, you feel vibes, you feel energy. You feel energy, you feel energy, you feel by vibes. Many times I believe in the old time, our grandmother, you know, foreparents them time. I believe that these people had more connection. You see, into the world, we more connected to something than nature. You see, we more connected to the internet, the computer. You know, we pull ourselves from nature, so we basically disconnected. If you really connect to nature in some form or the other, sometimes you nature pull your attention to plants with benefit. You could be walking and it will draw your attention to plants that's holds a lot of benefit. Sometimes we have the plants, our lifesaver, in our backyard, and we don't know. We cut them down every time they grow up. We cut them down. Now we getting to understand there's a lot more to these plants than it seems. Our elders was using a lot of these plants for medicine. There's plants that talk about that used to be for headache, There's plants for coal. There's all different type of plant. So what I'm saying, guys, instead of we complain, it's best we take it back in our hand. Start doing research. Start going, remembering the plants them that our parents and our grandparents used to use. Look at them. Now you have, once you know the name, you could go on your computer and you could get information from them. Now, in many different places, sometimes the same plants produce in different places. And it's the same plant but different names. Same plant but different name. So I'm just saying, man, sometimes you just got to take certain things back into your hands and be in control of it than to just complain. Because complain is not going to help, it's not going to take you anywhere. All it's going to do remain the same. So sometimes if you take it up in your own hand and start to do research about how to use certain things, the aloe plant. The aloe plant is a beautiful plant. Do some research on the aloe plant and learn about its benefit. Because what I'm saying is it's about prevention. Prevention is better than cure. So cleaning out your system. You know, I remember my grandmother used to give we this bitter bush. We used to drink a bitter bush, and that bitter bush was to clean out our system. You're eating. Sometimes you need something for clean out, cleanse your system. Clean out your stomach and all these places, get all the, and I remember growing up and every morning you will get a hot cup of tea. A hot cup of tea in the morning, whether it's cocoa tea, whatever tea you decide, or whatever tea your mother, your parents give to you. I remember these times was beautiful, and man, people used to be healthy. And the next thing again, the exercising. In times gone by, people used to do a lot of walking, and walking is exercising. People used to do a lot of walking, and walking is exercising. So we got to get back to that. Eat a lot of vegetables, eat healthy food, man, that can build your body, help with nutrition. Smoothies, make smoothies, eat, guys. You know what you got to eat to make your body strong. All you got to do, be patient and be more dedicated to what you put in within you. Because at the end of the day, you want to live a good, healthy life. You want to live a lifestyle that you could get up and walk. You could get up and take a run if you feel like. Because it's important. It's important. Like I remember in the older time, our grandparents, our father, I remember people used to walk, go to the mountain. And these older guys used to walk, go to the mountain. I'm talking about miles every day, going to the mountain and back down. And these guys were so strong, all guys, but they were so strong. And people, sometimes you cannot follow people because people like to take you away from what you're doing. Because now, sometimes you could be, give me a minute, guys, give me a minute. Yes, guys. Yes. So I remember in the older time, when the older guys used to be going in the mountain, man, and they used to walk miles upon miles going in the mountain. And sometimes people ask them, why you still going into the mountain? Relax now. You did so much walk in your young days, you should be relaxed now. But sometimes that does be the downfall. They're so accustomed to make this walk on a regular that now you speak to them and you kind of discourage them and they decide to follow you now. That's when everything starts falling down. They was doing pretty well walking every day. So that kind of gave me an indication of making movement, walking, exercising could help prevent a lot of things. When we study into the world, man, we study how much diabetes, how much cancer. I mean, we hear about all different type of disease these days, all different type, and it's not easy. It's not easy. You see, I'm gonna tell you this too. Sometimes you grow up eating, like for instance, right? If you grow up, if you grow up eating certain food, and from that certain food, you realize you was eating, that the family was eating, and you realize within that food, you see family members start to get diabetes, you see family members start to get, cancer and other things, then you gotta pay attention to that. You see, sometimes we like to hold on to tradition, and tradition is with us mess us up. Because we want to hold, oh, well, my mother used to eat this, so I'm going to eat it. Well, if you pay attention, you might see what it did. Because it's a balance. For my experience and what I've learned, it's a balance. Everything it's a balance. Everything it's a balance. So you got to learn to balance the way you eat. You have to learn to balance the way you eat. You see what I'm saying? Because if you're able to balance the way you eat, it can help you. So now, your parents was eating all different type of food, the starch, all different type of food. And when you look at it, certain things occur, right? So if certain things occur, you got to pay attention. You got to say, well, maybe I shouldn't eat as much. Not to say you shouldn't eat, but maybe you shouldn't eat as much as they was eating. Maybe you change it up a little. You balance it out. You add in a lot of beans, a lot of vegetables. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it, man. But we got to pay more attention to what's going on because our health is important. And if we don't care about health, then we're going to have to depend on somebody to try to save us. We should be responsible enough to take it in our own hands. And if anything and we need extra help, well, it's different. I will not tell nobody, oh, they must go to these places. If something wrong with you, check yourself out because you just never know. And sometimes these places help a lot of people. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to knock it. I'm just going to say you're not supposed to put your wholehearted self depending on anyone to take care of you. You should be the one who willingly taking that control of you. And if you need extra help, you get extra help. But you should take the fourth step. You should take the fourth step. Our health is important. Listen, you could have all the money in the world. Once your health gone bad, ain't nothing could bring it back. The money ain't nothing anymore to you. You sit down there and you cannot even use the money. It ain't nothing anymore. So our health is important and our health is wealth. And our health is what's gonna make you get up every morning and able to go to work to feed you and your family. Our health is what could give us progress. So take it in your own hands. Then you could depend on others, but you got to make the fourth step. You have to make the fourth step. Yes, you got to make that fourth step. And who knows, your fourth step could be start planting a few herbs. That could be a fourth step. Your second step could be, your fourth step could be eating more vegetables. And you see, a lot of us, I mean, the way how the thing is, man, people got to do what they got to do. But if you have some space, man, lettuce, cucumber, this place, this type is so easy to grow. It's so easy to grow. I think people should actually be growing lettuce, growing cucumber, growing whatever you can, man. Because at the end of the day, man, you're gonna be saving your own self. I'm gonna show you a container that three different hobbies growing into, and you could actually do the same. Give me 1 second. All right. I don't know. In this container, three different hobbies growing in this container. Just this little container, three different hobbies. You have the sage, you have the thyme, and you have the rosemary. Just like this, guys. Just like this, you could be growing some herbs right on your window ledge. Just like this, you could grow in some herb by a sunny window. And then if you're in the Caribbean, it make it easier. But I'm just saying, this is how simple it can be. And you know, rosemary is a very, very good plant to have. You know, I love to go cook rosemary. I like to use it and make tea. I also use it and make oil for my hair. You know what I'm saying? So just like this, guys, three different herbs in this container. So you could do it, man. You could do it. You and right here, these are healthy, healthy herbs. We have the sage, we have the sage, the thyme, and the rosemary. Just like that. And it smells awesome. So I'm just encouraging people into the world, man, where we got to start to take it in our own hand, take it up in our own hand. And if we need help, we get help. But at the end of the day, our health is the most important thing. Money is nothing when come to your health. Nothing when come to your health. You know, I just got to run this clip again, man. This clip bring back the culture in the old days, man. I know them kids these days don't know anything about this kind of life, but this could bring back memory. This could make the kids see, oh wow, that's how you guys used to do it. Oh yes, that's exactly how people used to be doing it and living too. All right, all right, all right. That bring back memories for the people who grew up in the earlier time. That was like the way people live in them time. People used to actually be living just like that. And you know what? You know what's so cool? People was actually having fun. That's the good thing about it. You had was to be creative. You had your mind was creative. It's like from the time something comes, you got to be ready. Like for instance, you thinking about, you know what, I need a scooter. You got to get creative and build a scooter. Because when you got to figure out what type of wheel you got in. All these things, you got to figure out the brakes that you're using. You got to figure out everything. And then you got to put it together. So creativity, what was amazing in them time because you had was to be creative. Now these days you could just go and buy what you want. Once you got the money, you could just go and buy it. In them time, you had was to be creative. If you want something, you got to figure out how am I going to gonna build this, or maybe you could go to someone to build it for you. But we had was to be creative, and I think that we kind of lose that. I think we kind of lose that because everything is hands on now. I want this. Let me go. Let me order this online, and it come to your doorstep. No more trying to figure out how am I gonna build this. I want this, but how am I gonna build it? So this thing is important, man, and the culture. This is why I'm doing this live Caribbean culture and lifestyle. This is to keep the culture alive, bring the culture, let people look back in and see what the culture was about. Here we want to talk about different things, different topic. We want to be more involved into conversation. We want to have open discussion, open dialogue, positive conversation. That's what we want to do because the culture is important. The culture. Remember, when we look back at the culture before us, we barely know anything. We lose that. So by what we have the opportunity now to put the culture together that the next generation could look into it and see what we used to be doing. Now, in the older time, we could have tell our parents could have tell us, oh yes, this is what we used to be doing. Now, we could show our children things that we were doing in our time. You see what I'm saying? Because now everything has changed. But at the end of the day, man, knowledge is power. Keep your knowledge together. The more you learn, the better for you. The more you apply yourself, the better for you. Having the information and not using it, not applying it, it didn't make sense. You have to apply. And that's when you start growing. And always remember, you could motivate yourself. You don't need anyone to motivate you. If you got to wait on someone to motivate you, then you have problems. Why? What if they don't motivate you? What if they never try to motivate you? Then what you gonna do? You're gonna get stuck. Learn to motivate yourself. All right? Thank you guys again for watching. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, please share this live. And we always go live on Friday night or Saturday night. Tonight, I just do a pop-up, which I'm going to be doing from time to time. So guys, I appreciate you all. Let's keep this thing going, man. Let's keep the conversation. Let's keep the culture alive, all right? Good night, everyone.